Well, good afternoon. Bill O'Leary here, Legacy Planning Law Group, coming to you live this Thursday. Next installment in our Thirsty Thursday series. So again, for those that may be new, what this series focuses on is different topics that may relate to estate planning and elder law and maybe some estate settlement, probate, that sort of thing. Basically dealing with people's sort of death and dying and their wishes. And so I focus on a different topic, and hopefully it's something that resonates with you. It certainly resonates with me. So if you're thirsting for knowledge, you've come to the right place. Today's topic is what is a disability panel? What's a disability panel and how does it work? So, a disability panel, as I like to use it, is part of what's called a trust, what's called a revocable trust. It's a kind of trust that's done very commonly in estate planning, and the objective is to make sure that when you pass away, things will pass smoothly and easily to your loved ones. And specifically, that it won't have to get bogged down in the court system, what we call the probate court. Now, with a trust, you would establish the trust and you would be the trustee of the trust. You'd also be the beneficiary of the trust while you are alive. So, you don't give up any control at all with a revocable trust. So let's focus on that trustee role, though. You're the trustee of the trust. So you're in complete charge, you're in complete control. But it's important to sort of think about what would happen if you really can't do that job anymore. You maybe are in declining health, or maybe a cognitive impairment sets in, and maybe you're not really functionally able to carry out that job as trustee. Well, what then happens? What's the mechanism to decide maybe whether somebody else should take over? Okay, well, ideally, your trust would have already thought ahead and named somebody to replace you, to back you up if you're not able to do that. And if you're a married couple, and let's say that you have a trust that you share with your spouse, what we call a joint trust, then both of you would be the trustees of the trust, what we call the co-trustees. And then if one of you gets to the point of not being able to do it, the other spouse would be the sole trustee. Now I'm talking about the situation where neither of you can do it. Maybe the first spouse has passed away, and now the surviving spouse is the trustee managing the trust, and he or she gets to the point where really can't manage the affairs anymore. Or let's say you're just an individual, you're a single person, and you have your own trust, and although you have named backups to you after you, called the successor trustee, you get to the point where you really can't do it. So what happens at that point? The mechanism. Well, I have seen some trusts that simply rely on a judge to make that decision, the court. I think that's a really bad idea, because all courts do is sort of slow things down and muck things up and may end up making a decision that the family doesn't like. I've seen other trusts that are put together that say, well, let's let a doctor decide, or maybe a couple of doctors that may give sort of a written opinion. Look, nothing against doctors, and I think consulting a doctor on this important decision is very helpful. But I have found it not terribly practical to leave the final decision in the hands of the doctor. Doctors may be reluctant to sort of stick their neck out and give that medical opinion. Again, can be consulted, but I think it is much better and much more comfortable of an arrangement to allow family to make that determination. A private determination made by family, where you can name people, appoint people to do that, to make that determination. You can appoint people to this special kind of panel that's called a disability panel. And so that is sort of my preferred approach in putting a trust together. The mechanism I prefer to go about deciding if you're not able to really serve as trustee anymore, a disability panel. So you can name an initial panel, let's say sort of a common approach to this would say a married couple with children is to say that the husband's disability panel will consist of the wife alone, and the wife's disability panel will consist of the husband alone. So it's a single person on the panel. But then to name a backup panel, a contingent panel, if you will. So if the other spouse serving as the primary panel member can't do it for whatever reason, maybe they passed away, maybe they're incapacitated, then it will fall down to the backup panel. And so maybe it's the kids. And there you can decide whether you want sort of a vote requirement by the kids. Do you want it to be unanimous vote of the kids? So if one child sort of holds out, then there will not be a determination made. Or would you rather say, look, I want to put to a vote of the children, but majority vote would be sufficient. So if you have 3 kids, as long as 2 of the 3 sort of voted in favor of sort of removing you as trustee because you're not able to do it anymore, then that would be sufficient. But again, different ways to go about it. So that's how we like to use a disability panel. Again, a disability panel is a mechanism that is used as part of a revocable living trust. It's a mechanism I like to use. Not everybody, not all lawyers use that mechanism. I think it's just a wonderful tool, and it seems that clients really kind of like that. They want their family to make that judgment call. So, so I hope you've enjoyed this. Hey, look, if you want to learn more about what a disability panel and how it works and maybe how we can help, look, I encourage you to book a free 15-minute phone call with us, a discovery call. Okay, it's complimentary. You can we can have a chance to sort of talk, get to know each other, find out what your concern is. That way, we can tell you if we can help you. And so, go ahead and book the call. You can book it on our Facebook page. Go to the Book Now button, or you can just Google us, Legacy Planning Law Group. Hey, if you've enjoyed this video, it'd be great if you liked it, and better yet, share it. And again, I'm just trying to get the word out for these important issues. So I hope you've enjoyed this talk. Again, today's topic, what is a disability panel and how does it work? I'm going to give another talk next Thursday. Again, this is part of our series called the Thirsty Thursday series. So if you're thirsting for knowledge, you've come to the right place for sure. So Bill O'Leary, again, wishing you a great day, signing off, and go make it a better world.